to another episode of Executive Talk. Those that are here live with us in our studio audience and also those that are watching us on Facebook Live. Thank you guys so much for being here. In this particular topic, I want you guys to think for a minute about starting from January all the way up to this point. There's something that transitions into this particular season, starting from November on to December. And that transition is something that we don't really think about. We just get into the spirit of things, get into the spirit of the moment, and it happens for November to December. And specifically, we're going to talk about the season for giving. That's what we're discussing today. How often do we actually think about giving? Giving is one of those things that we can get so blind to that we just do stuff. It's just one of those moments that we do, but how often do we think about giving and what it actually means and the impact of giving? This is why we're actually addressing it today, the season for giving, because there's a transitionary period of time right now that I think a lot of us are missing, and that we're missing the key component to this November-December timeframe, and that is the season for giving. And with us today, we have Christopher Hall, who is the CEO of Rocky Mountain SARE, with us today to talk about, from his perspective, what the season for giving really means and what it looks like on his end. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming Christopher Hall. How you doing, Chris?
How you doing, Maurice? Doing good.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you again.
Same here.
All right.
See you.
So for those that have the first time getting an opportunity to get to meet you, please just give us a little background.
Okay. Yes, like Maurice said, my name is Christopher Hall. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Came all the way here to Denver, Colorado. Went to the University of Colorado back in 1990 and played on the national championship football team. Got married and had kids and, of course, stayed in Denver, Colorado. Didn't want to raise a family in Chicago, of course, during these times, but it's been great to me living here in Denver, Colorado. Rocky Mountain SARE began in 1980 as a war and poverty nonprofit. And our first grant was a migrant seasonal farm worker program. From there, that grant says that we don't want the migrant farm workers to go back to where they migrated from. Stay here in Colorado and pick up some job training skills. So let's say a migrant worker wanted to be a carpenter or a truck driver or a nurse. We will pay for their education to become and go into that trade as well. Then we also work with the employers to do on-the-job training to help give them that on-the-job training experience as well. Then also from there in 1984, we picked up our first Head Start grant over in the Western Slope area. And then from there, we just grew and grew and grew. Right now, we serve over 1,419 children throughout the state of Colorado for Head Start purposes. We are the largest Head Start provider in Colorado, as well as the largest Head Start provider in Region 8. Okay. Region 8 comprises of Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota.
Okay, all right. So Head Start is the same as early childhood education, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
And Head Start is primarily a federal funded program through the Office of Head Start and Health and Human Services.
Gotcha.
The early childhood education comes about is when you bring in those other type of funding sources into play to help make the program more comprehensive and more holistic to the child and also as a family as well.
Okay. And so most of the families that you serve in that Head Start early childhood education, are they typically in the poverty? Is that something that they're going through?
Yes, that is one of the major criteria of the eligibility to participate in our program is through the poverty, of course, is low-income families that we 99% work with. We do have a little window of a 10% that we can enroll that is what is called over income, but they still is technically it's still in the poverty, under the poverty guidelines. They're just over the 100% poverty number itself, but we can't go over the 130 poverty guidelines.
Gotcha, okay. And for those that are just now aware of what Rocky Mountain SARE does, remember there are archives and we have a lot of his shows with us, so you guys can, we definitely have a show talking about poverty lines.
Yes, we do.
So we can address that in those. But let's go ahead and get into this topic, and let's, as I was talking about earlier, the season from November 23rd to December 25th. Everybody knows November 23rd, Thanksgiving, you're eating.
Right.
That's just what you do. Then all the way to December 25th, talk to us about this time frame and what it entails.
First of all, November 23rd, it was Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
And as you saw that this Black Friday has came about, we used to spend that Thursday to spend time with our families. Now what Black Friday has done was creeped on over on Thursday. And guess what that's doing to the families?
What's that?
That's taking away from that family time that you should be spending with your family instead of worrying about going out and get that special deal that Black Friday is. Black Friday was always termed of, that is that opportunity for the retail stores to get out of the red. So they was running at a loss. So now this is their opportunity to finally to finish out the year with a strong push to get into the black. So that's where Black Friday's term actually came from. Okay. It's an opportunity for the retailers to start making profit after this whole year of being in the red itself.
Go ahead.
Okay, so like I was saying before, what it has done was, at first you used to have to wake up early in the morning on a Friday morning.
That's right.
to try to wait in line or camp out overnight to wait in line to get those deals. But what they did this year, and they started kind of previous year, is starting to do it on a Thursday. Guess what that's doing to those workers? Don't you think that those workers want to be at home with their family as well and enjoying that nice turkey and dressing and everything else and spending time with that family? This is what the enemy is doing to us. It is one step at a time, is breaking up the cohesiveness of the family unit.
Right.
But they think that, well, let's just go shopping together. No. Let's stay home together. Let's do things together as a family at home, but not being out there in those crowds fighting over the gifts that they only give you a limited supply on the deals.
Yes, that's right. You got to get in that window, right?
In that window.
So we're seeing the attack. It used to be, like you said, that Friday morning, but then now is easing on into Thanksgiving, into that spirit. Because again, that spirit of giving starts November 23rd.
Right.
All right. So if you think about that, it's starting to creep into that, and it's getting earlier. I think it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that on Thursdays where it's happening. And so it's creeping and it's taking away that spirit to where, yeah, you're sitting in front, but you're thinking about going to get that deal. Okay, that's the key thing about this word give. It's creeping and it's taken away from that opportunity there in that family time. So I totally agree with you. So then we have a chart here for you guys that's illustrating something, and I'll go ahead and review it with you. This is representing July to June. This is particularly back into 1999 to 2013, just for transparency purposes. But as I did my research to actually try to figure out what happens during this time frame as far as suicide is concerned, as far as there's something to be said about this, and that's what we wanted to explain. And Chris, go ahead and, because you had a great, when you gave great detail when you saw this chart.
Right. So as you can see, the suicide rate in July was up in 97.5. As you can see, the decline going into December. From November to December is a huge decline. That's a 5% decline. That's the time of what we're talking about during this time. Before, when we was doing research on this graph, we actually thought that suicide would be high during this period, when suicide is not the highest during this period. Suicide started climbing after this period. So if you take a look at the graph, starting after in the middle of December at 85%, it skyrockets and jumped to 91.9. Because guess what? Now that I have created all of this credit card debt, not knowing how am I going to pay my bills, my rent, my mortgage, whatever the case of bills may be, now I'm creeping into serious depression. I done created this huge hole for myself and my family. What am I going to do next? And sometimes that's what that suicidal rate start kicking in, because now I'm facing these high bills.
Right, that's right. And look at the trajectory, look at the time period that it goes to. So when we look at it from an enemy's attack time frame, it's wait until November, December, and then all of a sudden, because you know how it is after December 25th, it's like you're on drugs for a while, right? Like a better terms. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, what just happened? What just happened? And then literally, and you guys know how the new year starts. It doesn't really start until January 8th when people really start moving. But that lull from that time frame is devastating.
Right.
People are going through some things. And so this is why we wanted to bring up that graph, because again, that spirit of giving gets attacked at this time, and this is the end result of it. And that's why we wanted to illustrate this graph with you.
That's correct.
So then let's take it on a deeper level, and you can definitely attest to this because of what your school deals with and what you get opportunity to see. So poverty plus Christmas, and how does that affect people that are having financial challenges?
I am already struggling to pay my bills, right? And so now that you add on Black Friday and what society and media is doing and pumping all these commercials about these deals and that, and my little child is coming up to me, mommy, mommy, daddy, 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 I want that, I want that, I want that. My friend talking about they want this, and want this. And so what that do to a parent? That put the parent in a mode of, well, I wish I could provide that or give that toy or whatever the gift to my child or whatever. But I'm already broke.
That's right.
So how am I going to make means to be able to provide and be able to give my child this gift? Because I'm already broke. So when you see on Black Friday, this is some stats that we need to see. How much crime happens on that day alone? Meaning theft, assault. Because when you see the pictures and videos on, let's say, people going into Walmart or Best Buy on that day, they're trampling people. They're running over people. They're fighting people.
Yeah, that's right.
It brings out the evil in someone. It's not bringing out what's supposed to be for good.
Right.
Because like I said, what they're doing is they're putting only 20 of these big screen TVs is going on sale for $150. You're going to have hundreds of people lined up fighting for that 20.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is not a fair representation or to be able to fair sale to give everybody the opportunity to purchase that gift for that certain amount. And then the same thing applies to other wants, as I will say. So now I have created this big, huge hole. I'm already in poverty. Now I created this hole. All I want to do is just give one gift to my child or to my loved one or whatever. How am I going to get myself out of this bigger hole or bigger deficit that I just created during this time period?
That's it. That's it. And so, it becomes convoluted depending on your financial situation. To be able to look and, like you said, to see your kid wanting to receive this and you want to give, and knowing that you can't, what happens to you?
Correct.
It, again, another trap of the heart, and just having that feeling of not being able to. And so this scripture right here, John 10:10, the thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. It is, Chris, how do you receive that scripture?
When you say that the thief does not only come to to steal and to kill and to destroy, look what he's doing. I'm coming to steal your joy. I'm coming to steal your happiness. But now that I done stole it, I'm coming to kill you. That's why that suicidal rate shoots up.
Yeah.
Because after I get you to start really thinking about your bills, what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to concentrate on anything else because your financial is going to be weighing on your mind so much. And you're not going to be able to function in the right manner because you're going to think about, wow, did I really just spend that kind of money on that gift?
That's right.
And so what he's doing is he's breaking up that family unit, for one, on Thanksgiving. That's supposed to be a day for we should be giving thanks, showing appreciation to one another, thanking mom, thanking dad, have that close relationship with the family. So he's already trying to break up that unit alone.
Right.
Now I'm going to add this other barrier on top of it that's dealing with this financial struggle during that time period as well. Because now the next step, I'm going to kill you.
That's right.
I'm going to put suicide on your mind. Go ahead and kill yourself. You can't get out this situation. Go ahead and kill yourself. That's what the enemy is trying to do.
That's it. That's it. Think about this. This again, January to November, we hit that spirit of giving. Okay, this is one of the fruits of the spirit is giving. Okay, So he needs to attack that, because giving is a love language.
It is.
It's very closely associated with love. So as long as you're not giving, you're not going to experience love. Okay? That's why that attack is absolutely in this time frame, because there's the overwhelming portion of giving. People can actually remember love. Because we're in a society right now where we forgot all about love.
Exactly.
And so as long as he can attack the giving portion, as long as he can keep you out of that place of love. And that's how the enemy can attack that place, attack the heart. As long as you don't feel that spirit of giving, he can attack love. And as you guys know in the scriptures, love fulfills them all. Chris, did you want to expound on that?
And like the Bible said, Jesus said, give, and it shall be given unto you. We, like you said, we're stepping a crossroads of, I want to give. I want to give. And not only does it deal with materialistic things, giving of my time, giving of my service, helping someone out during this time of need, during this time of giving. Like we said, seasons for giving, we should not only just help and give those that needs a coat, that need clothes on their back, or need food on the table, is more deeper than just the materialistic type of things, but it's also giving experienced this way, not just right here itself.
That's right. That's right. Let's go ahead and get into the enemy's trap here. Would you guys take a quick look at this? So, Chris, you want to take this away? Because I know you like this one.
Oh, I do. All right. First of all, at the top, we talk about the greed itself. You know, and like we brought up before, we talk about during the Black Friday sales, it's not about 9 times out of 10, it's the need. We out shopping for the want.
Yeah.
So when we start crossing over to satisfy the want, the flesh itself, now we're creeping over into the greed itself. Now if we go on down to part of that on the right-hand side of a lack, now I'm lacking something, because I done spent my resources for that greed itself. Now I'm lacking my necessary resources to be able to fulfill what I need to do in the household itself, to pay the bills or whatever the case may be. Now I'm in a place of I need to receive in order for me to get myself out of this position. Now my hand is out, say, help me, help me, help me.
Right.
So that's what that graph totally, it's that cycle that we totally in. So now I'm caught up on my receiving. Now I'm back to my greed.
That's it.
Because I haven't fixed the problem that I'm having of trying to stay up with the Joneses, as I would say, right? Or trying to always stay up with the new technology, the new equipment, or the new this or new that, or with the wants of my child or my loved ones. I'm so caught up on the giving side of things and not looking at what I already have and my necessity of things to take care of my needs, not my wants.
That's right. That's right. And I'm going to go ahead and tap into scripture on this one and give you guys a different or add to that perspective, because that was spot on. So Acts 20:35, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Very straightforward scripture. But how can the enemy manipulate the scripture? He can put it's more blessed to receive than to give. That's his whole course right there. As long as he has you on the heart set of receiving, that is more blessed to give than to receive, or I'm sorry, to receive than give, he's already manipulated that whole process. Right. And it's hard to even know that you're in it. So, Chris, where is the light then? Because I know we've been talking about some stuff, and I don't want anybody to think that we're going to a depressing place in this conversation. But what we are doing is making sure, because the enemy does not want us to discover his tricks. And so we are making sure that it's out there front and center, so that way we can keep that spirit of giving open. So now we're going into the light, everybody. It's okay, stay with us. So where is the light, Chris?
Well, the light, as I would say, is shining through Rocky Mountain Seer. What Rocky Mountain Seer totally believe in is giving. You know, and in the individual sense of God tells us to give him 10%. To give back, right? We're a nonprofit as well, and so we want to give back to those who has helped us along the way. Even though we may have enrolled you and your child into our program, we want to give back to you all as well. That's just a token of saying thank you. That one toy or that one gift puts a smiling face on that child and also on that parent. We have been doing this program, Seasons Forgiven, for about going on 6 or 7 years now. And to see the faces of the parents and to see the faces of the child itself, the children as well, and to hear some of those testimonies will touch your heart like never before. Some of those parents say, thank you, because I don't even know how I was going to give my child this gift. And so some of the kids say, Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, Daddy, can I open it now? Can I open it now? They said, no, honey, let's hold off till Christmas time so you can open that up. Put that gift up under the tree. And so that there means a lot to us as Rocky Mount Sarah, because we're here to try to fight war on poverty and to help those parents to get into a more self-sufficient lifestyle. And so, but if we can help them and give them that little glimmer of hope, the light that there is a company that believes in us and that want to help us, we're there to do it, to give you that hope to say, you can do it. We're behind you and pushing you forward. You can do it. Don't give up. Yes. You can't give up now because you're that close to making it.
That's it. That's it. And so when we look at it from the other perspective of Acts 20:35, he's speaking about this scripture. It is more blessed to give than to receive. And those, when people are hearing that gratitude, is that blessing.
That's right.
Is the infiltration into this school is actually in their household. They may be blocks away, but the school impact is in that household. Mm-hmm. And that's the blessing that happened. You help that family through for another 6 months. You carry that family through, and that is huge.
That's huge.
I like this scripture. I want you to go deep with this. Is Hebrews 13:2. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it.
Yes, yes, yes. That's a very deep scripture. My mom, my parents always taught me, treat people with love, kindness, and respect. You never know who you are entertaining. That person that you may be entertaining could be an angel sent from God. And it could be a test, whatever the case may be. But you always treat people with love, kindness, and respect. And you never know what the family is going through. We give and touch that family's heart. We try to provide for that family and help them, try to give them clothes on their back and food on their table, and that little gesture to say thank you, to showing that we appreciate you. You never know who you're entertaining, because you could be entertaining an angel unaware.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. So this photo right here speaks 1,000 words.
Yes.
Talk to us about, because that little girl, she looks happy.
Our Seasons Forgiven we do it throughout the whole state of Colorado. Our kickoff is this Thursday in Denver at Pecos Center. We go from this Thursday till Friday in Grand Junction. Yeah. Then we go on next Monday to Trinidad. Tuesday is Walsenburg. Wednesday is Pueblo. Thursday is Alamosa. That's right. So that's a culmination of 6 locations within the week's time that we're on the road passing out these gifts. We pass out over 4,000 gifts on an annual basis during these 6 days. 6 intensive days that we're just giving back to the families. So in this picture, you see, which is very, very touching, as firemen down in Pueblo helping and volunteering at our Pueblo site on one of those days. And they interacting with the children and different things. And then that you see in the bottom left corner is a policeman. Mm-hmm. We hear all of the negative stuff in the media about policemen, but we never see the positive things that they do. We do need to start showing some light of the positive, because that's all the enemy is doing, is want to do the negative. But there is some good people out there that want to truly help and give back.
Okay, that's awesome. Let's give them a quick round of applause for that. That's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And that's a lot of wear and tear for a week's time frame.
It is. Oh, man.
When he was talking, he was like,
I was thinking about what's going to happen on the starting this Thursday. I'm trying to take care of myself right now.
Right.
Get all my sleep in.
Get all your water, get all
Yes.
that stuff, yeah. So talk to us real quick about the Hub Denver 2017 Holiday Charity Drive.
One of our partners did something awesome this year. On an annual basis, what they've been usually giving us is about $2,000 a year as a contribution to our Season for Giving. But they say, you know what, Chris? You all are constantly doing such great things, and we want to partner even greater for you during this Seasons for Giving. What they did was they called it a Holiday Charity Drive at their corporate offices. And what they're going to do is they're going to take cash donations as well as coat drive, clothing drive, food drive, as well as toy drive. And they're going to present it to us next week of everything that they have received from their employees to give back to Rocky Mount Sarah so we can pass it off to the families as well.
That's huge. That's huge.
That is very huge. And when they told me that, I was like,
for
wow. That brought tears to my eyes. I said, that's what a true partner is about.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So here's the way that you guys can help. Obviously, you guys can go to the website. It's http://rmser.org. ColoradoGives.org is tomorrow. So if you guys feel free to donate, and anything will help and get that momentum started. And also contact C. Hall at rmser.org directly. And do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, I would like to say, first of all, thank you.
You're welcome.
And that God has a huge calling on your life. The things that you're doing through this media outlet to bring awareness to the nation during these hard times right now is very touching. And He's going to greatly reward you, and I know He's blessing you even now today. Because our country and our nation, we need each other. It's about that giving back and saying thank you. And I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you that are here today and those that are watching. And I would love you all to give and contribute in any way possible.
And I'd like to thank you guys for Rocky Mountain Sarah for allowing Executive Talk to tell your story.
Thank you.
That's been a big deal. And you guys have been paramount to Executive Talk and really helping develop the meaning as to what we're all about. I want everybody out there to really consider this. If you want to attack a whole part, get people to the point where they don't have anything, and when they finally do get something, all they want to do is keep on receiving. Giving now helps the future. It really does. There's a big component that goes to that. And I want you guys to continue to see this story, share the story here on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and everywhere, and please keep on sharing. But in the meantime, Chris and I, we have to get back to work. You guys have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Good job.